The mirror reflected Emily Carter's radiant beauty, the soft silk of her wedding gown clinging perfectly to her frame, its delicate lace catching the morning light in sparkles that danced like fireflies. At 28, she stood on the cusp of what should have been the happiest day of her life. Her chestnut hair was swept into an elegant updo, and her makeup, a subtle glow of peach and rose, made her look every bit the blushing bride. Yet, as she gazed at her reflection in the quaint Boston boutique, a hollow ache gnawed at her chest. This was her wedding day, but not a single member of her family would be there to witness it. The call had come the day before, jarring her from the whirlwind of last-minute preparations. It was Rachel, her college friend from NYU, her voice hesitant yet urgent. "Emily, I hate to bring this up, but I saw something on Instagram. Your sister, Lauren, isn't she supposed to be at your wedding? It looks like she's in Europe with her kids." Emily's heart lurched. "What? No, Rachel, that can't be right. My whole family's flying in from San Diego. They're supposed to be here tomorrow." Her fingers trembled as she opened Instagram, dreading what she might find. There it was, Lauren's latest post. A vibrant photo of her two kids, Mia and Ethan, grinning in front of a charming cobblestone street. Unmistakably European. The caption read, "Family adventure in Italy. Best vacation ever with mom and dad." Emily's breath caught. No mention of her wedding. No hint of apology. Her pulse racing. Emily dialed her mother, Diane. The phone rang too long before Diane's flustered voice answered. "Emily, honey, what's wrong? Mom, where are you?" Emily's voice cracked. "My wedding's tomorrow." A heavy silence stretched across the line. Then, in a near whisper, Diane said, "Well, Lauren wanted to take the kids to Europe. She said it was a once-in-a-lifetime chance while they're still young." Emily's stomach dropped. "Mom, I sent you $25 to cover flights and hotels for you, Lauren, and her family to come to Boston. You said everything was booked." Diane's voice shrank further. "About that, we used the money for Lauren's trip. I just wanted the kids to have something special." Emily's world tilted. The $25, her hard-earned savings from years of late nights at her marketing job, was gone. Funneled into a European vacation while her wedding loomed. "Mom, what about my wedding?" she choked out. "Oh, Emily," Diane sighed. "You've got so many friends. You'll be fine without us." The kids needed this. Emily hung up, her hands shaking so violently she nearly dropped her phone. She sank onto the edge of her bed, the weight of betrayal crushing her. Her fiancé, James, found her there, his warm hazel eyes filled with concern. What's going on?" She shook her head, tears spilling over. "They're not coming, James. None of them. They took the money I sent and went to Europe instead." James pulled her close, his steady presence a lifeline in her storm. "We'll get through this," he whispered. But Emily wasn't so sure. The morning of the wedding dawned crisp and golden, Boston's autumn leaves painting the city in hues of amber and crimson. Emily stood in the chapel's bridal suite, her gown a vision of timeless elegance. Yet, as she adjusted her veil, the absence of her family felt like a physical wound. She'd dreamed of this day since she was a girl, her mother fussing over her dress, her sister teasing her about becoming an old married lady. Instead, the chairs reserved for her family would sit empty, adorned only with white roses and a gold plaque reading, "Family." As she stepped into the chapel, James's parents, Robert and Susan, approached her. Susan, a retired literature professor with kind gray eyes, took Emily's hands. "Sweetheart, we'd be honored to stand in for your family today. You're our daughter now." Robert, a former high school math teacher with a gentle smile, nodded. "We've got you, Emily." Their words cracked something open in her, and tears welled up before she could stop them. They weren't her blood, but their warmth felt more like family than anything she'd known in years. The ceremony was beautiful, the chapel glowing with candlelight and the soft hum of vows exchanged. But as Emily walked down the aisle, her arm linked with James's, she couldn't ignore the empty seats where her mother and sister should have been. The guests noticed, too. Whispers rippled through the crowd, their pity stinging worse than the betrayal itself. Emily made a silent vow as she passed those vacant chairs. She was done hoping for her family's love. If they couldn't show up for the most important day of her life, they didn't deserve her heart. After the reception, filled with laughter and toasts from friends, Emily checked her phone. Messages poured in. Congratulations from colleagues, old classmates, even distant cousins. But from her mother and Lauren? Nothing. Not a text. Not a call. Meanwhile, Lauren's Instagram lit up with new posts. Her kids splashing in a Venetian canal. The family dining under string lights in Florence. Each image was a fresh wound. Proof that her sister's European adventure, funded by Emily's wedding money, mattered more than her marriage. James found her staring at her phone. Her face pale. Talk to me, he said softly. She met his gaze, her voice steady despite the pain. I'm okay, James. I see them now. I see who they really are. 2 weeks later, a thick envelope arrived from a law firm in San Diego, handling the estate of Emily's late grandmother, Margaret. At 32, Emily hadn't expected anything more from her grandmother's passing a year ago. Margaret, a retired elementary school teacher, had been Emily's rock, helping her with college applications, cheering her on through every milestone. The envelope contained a document titled, Final Notice of Estate Distribution, and a handwritten letter from Margaret herself. Emily's heart pounded as she read, My dearest Emily, I had planned to split my estate, $900, equally among you, your mother, and Lauren, but after last Thanksgiving, I changed my mind. When you shared your dream of starting a nonprofit to help kids access education. Your mother scoffed, saying, Stop acting like you're better than us and focus on your family. That's when I knew, you're the only one who'd use this money for good. So, I'm leaving it all to you. Emily's breath caught. Thanksgiving had been a blur of tension, her mother, Diane, dismissing her nonprofit idea as pretentious. Lauren rolling her eyes. Now, Margaret's words brought it all back. The estate was hers alone. A gift and a responsibility. But the news wouldn't stay quiet for long. The next day, Diane called, her voice brimming with excitement. Emily, about your grandmother's estate, Lauren's planning to turn our house into a duplex. I'd move in to help with the kids. And she could open a hair salon downstairs. She's got her cosmetology license. You know, we were thinking we could use some of Margaret's money for the renovation. You in? Emily's jaw tightened. They hadn't mentioned her wedding. Hadn't apologized for their absence. And now they wanted a piece of an inheritance they assumed was theirs. Mom, did you read Grandma's will? She asked coolly. Diane faltered. Well, no, not yet. The lawyers said it's complicated. But she always said she'd leave something for all of us. Right? It's supposed to be split 3 ways. Emily took a deep breath. I got the will, Mom. Grandma left everything to me. She wrote a letter explaining why. Because of how you and Lauren reacted to my nonprofit idea. The line went silent. Then Diane's voice erupted. That's impossible. I'm her daughter. And Lauren's her granddaughter. You're saying you're keeping it all for your little charity stunt? Emily's heart hardened. Even now, her mother saw her dreams as a performance. It's not a stunt, Mom. It's what Grandma wanted. She hung up, her hands trembling but her resolve firm. Emily knew what she had to do. Margaret's inheritance would fund her dream, a nonprofit called Bright Futures, dedicated to providing scholarships for underprivileged kids. It was the truest way to honor her grandmother's legacy. James stood by her, his support unwavering. Your grandma knew you, Em. She knew you'd make a difference. As Emily began the paperwork, supporters rallied, James's colleagues, her clients, even local businesses pledged funds. But her family wasn't done with her yet. The Boston sunset painted the sky in streaks of gold and crimson, casting a warm glow over the small garden of Emily Carter's new home. At 28, Emily sat on the porch, her hand resting gently on her stomach, where the first flutters of new life stirred. The past 6 months had been a whirlwind of heartbreak and revelation. But now, with her husband James by her side, she felt a quiet peace settling in, a peace hard won after betrayal. Her family's absence at her wedding and their greed over her grandmother's inheritance had shattered her trust. But from those ruins, Emily was building a life rooted in purpose and love. Her mother, Diane, and sister, Lauren, faced a starkly different fate. After squandering Emily's $25 wedding fund on a lavish European vacation, they'd pinned their hopes on a share of Margaret's $900 estate. When Emily revealed that the inheritance was hers alone, designated for her nonprofit, Bright Futures, Diane and Lauren's world unraveled. Diane had drained her savings to cover debts from the trip. Her dreams of a luxurious duplex with Lauren now a distant fantasy. Lauren's marriage crumbled under the strain, her husband left. Unable to handle the financial fallout and public shame, Lauren moved back to Diane's cramped San Diego apartment, relying on her mother to help raise Mia and Ethan. The social media backlash was merciless. Lauren's cosmetology license was useless when local salons shunned her. Her reputation tarnished by the viral posts exposing their deception. Their community, once sympathetic, now whispered about their greed. Isolated and broke, they were shadows of their former selves. Emily, meanwhile, found her true family in those who showed up when it mattered. James's parents, Robert and Susan, were her rock. During the move to their new home, a charming two-bedroom house 20 minutes from James's university, they arrived with boxes and warm smiles. Susan, peering out the kitchen window at the old oak in the garden, said, "Emily, this place is perfect for you two. I can already see your kids playing under that tree." Her words, so full of hope, lingered with Emily. 2 months later, when morning coffee turned her stomach and her favorite foods lost their appeal, a pregnancy test confirmed it. Emily was expecting. She told James in their quiet bathroom, her voice trembling with joy and nerves. "We're going to have a baby," she whispered. James's face lit up, his arms pulling her close. "Our child will grow up surrounded by real love," he said, and Emily knew he was right. To protect her growing family, Emily took a bold step. She filed for a restraining order against Diane and Lauren. When Diane protested, "A restraining order against your own mother," Emily stood firm. "You made your choice when you picked a vacation over my wedding and demanded Grandma's money," she said. The legal barrier was her shield, ensuring her child would never know the pain of their betrayal. Bright Futures became her beacon. The nonprofit, funded by Margaret's inheritance, was already changing lives, offering scholarships to kids who'd otherwise lose their shot at education. Thank you notes from students flooded Emily's inbox. One from a high schooler named Marcus read, "Because of you, I'm the first in my family going to college. You're my hero." Each message was a reminder of why Margaret entrusted her with the estate. As Emily signed the final documents for Bright Futures, she felt her grandmother's presence. "You were right, Grandma," she whispered, glancing at Margaret's photo on the shelf. Real family shows up, with James, Robert, and Susan by her side. Emily was no longer bound by blood ties that only hurt. She was free to live her values, kindness, purpose, and love. As the oak in their garden promised to bloom come spring, so did Emily's new chapter as a mother, a wife, and a changemaker, her heart full of quiet happiness.